Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again. First time I'm being on video and camera. Yeah, welcome to my new channel. Just decided to start this and share some of the experiences regarding my new Sovol SVO6 Plus and how I'm getting along with it, things I've experienced thus far. The one thing that I want to talk about in this video particularly is about print failure and the Cura software, the slicing software that was included with the package. So on unboxing the SVO6 Plus, advice in there as per the sheet was to download their version, the link which takes you through to their site. You download the link for Cura, and this one has embedded into it the option to select your particular printer, which is for me, the SVO6 Plus, and it has obviously other printers available to download their profile into. So it sets up the relevant slicing, or the ability to print in slices through that software. Might be talking rubbish to the pros out there. Probably won't be watching this video if that's the case anyway, hopefully, otherwise I get cussed. Now I did download a version of Ultimaker Cura as well. That doesn't yet have the profile in it for the SVO6 Plus, but apparently you can import, well, I've now found out you can import the profile into that software. So moving back a little bit, I decided to use the original advice and go with their software. Their version of Cura with the SVO6 Plus mounted as the profile, and this was one of the first prints I did. Now this looks absolutely beautiful. The sheen on it's fantastic. It's their little lighthouse off the SD card. The micro card that they supply with the machine. There's this, and obviously their benchy, and it's absolutely beautiful. The layer height is beautiful. I think the sheen's lovely. Great print, absolutely brilliant. Pleased as punch that it did it. Well, then of course you want to branch out a little bit, and decided to download a couple of things to have a go at. And sure enough, fail. Every single one of them. I think I got some pieces, several pieces of the Mandalorian helmet, because the kids are going absolutely wild, blown out of their head. That one's Mandalorian helmet, dad, can I have that Mandalorian helmet? So started printing some of those pieces, failed. I think I had about 5 failures. Luckily one of the small pieces from the back of the helmet, but it was the adhesion plate was fine. I'd used the isopropyl alcohol as advised. There's a link down in the downstairs in down here to get that from Amazon. Do not miss that stage. That stuff is invaluable to secure your first print. And yeah, adhesion layer was fine, primary layer was fine, and got to about 3rd layer, and you could feel the print head scratching and scraping and buffeting along, and the print just went haywire. So let it go a couple of times. Now, the point that I'm getting to now, and the major piece of advice, is I set up a print, I thought I'd got it right. So I realigned the head, re-leveled it, thought everything was okay, started off a print again, fingers crossed, went to bed. Got up in the night and found a god almighty mess all over the dining room table where the printer was set up at the time, like a cloud of candy floss and melted plastic all over the print head. The print itself was scooting around the base as it was being dragged round, so the adhesion had given way. Yeah, there was a right mess. In a panic, not knowing any different and new to this thing, turn the printer off. So of course what happens then is the temperature of the nozzle goes down, the print bed goes down, returns to standard and room temperature. Do not, at this idea, yeah, well, let's go over it. So started pulling off all this candy floss, etc., and removing everything. The print, the original print kind of came away okay, and then just looked and just nearly cried. There was melted plastic everywhere. Okay, do not, as I did, in a panic, start cracking away trying to remove chunks of plastic. It is rock solid by this time, and it is thick. Take care of your print head, take care of the materials. There are fine wires behind there. There's your power to the actual hot end. There's your thermistor cables, which are really thin. Do not go chipping away at this plastic and do yourself some damage. Major thing to do is just keep calm, get yourself in the right head state. So just calm down a minute, grab yourself some old cloth, some really old cloth, because you're going to ruin it. You're gonna cover it in molten plastic, basically. If you can, grab yourself something like the gardening gloves, the leather gloves that you're not going to burn yourself with, hopefully. Well, try not to anyway. I'm not advising though, obviously. Crank your temperature right up on the hot end. I turned mine up to about 250 and just sat there and give it time and time to wait. Sure enough, when the short length of time, things started oozing away, and I think having cleared away the bed and all that tangle and the mess, things started oozing away. Now you've got a little bit of a rubber cover around the hot end as well. That sort of slipped away and was a little bit mucky. So again, cloth, give it a good wipe. I think I had a split in that as well. So I can only assume when the plastic was cooling, it somehow pulled it at a funny angle, etc., and then split it. Something else as well, and I'm assuming as the plastic was cooling, it somehow managed to put a little kink or a split in the thermistor cable. They're really fine and sensitive, and this is why I say do not go at it with a knife or something stupid and trying to chip this plastic off. Crank the temperature up, melt it back, and just be careful where this plastic's oozing and dripping, etc. So just use some that old cloth, wipe it all off, and just keep your hands protected. It will come away, and sure enough, in about 10 minutes, I sat there and just gently wipe it and clean, etc. It had completely left the hot end. I think just the slight issue people talk about with the SV06 and some of the other Sovols, there's a very slight gap just above the hot end, which some plastic had got into, and that took a little longer to fall away, and a little bit of sort of encouragement with a little driver. But again, be very, very careful poking around in there. There's electrics and heat and stuff, so be very, very careful. So having cleaned this and cleaned the hot end off, and the rest of the printer, I have been in touch with Sovol, still waiting for an ultimate reply from them, whether they'll replace the hot end or maybe just the thermistor cable, etc., because there is that very slight nick in it, which I can only assume has happened if, I don't know, when the plastic's set. No idea. But following that, decided to try and sit down and have a look at why it was doing what it was doing, because everything looked to be good. The alignment's correct, the height, etc., etc. So I decided to go backward and use the Ultimator Cura, and I found a set of profiles for the SV06 Plus, which you can import into it under add printer, and I think it's a custom FFF printer, and just put the profile in. You can adjust the name afterwards, so it says SV06 Plus if you wish. And sure enough, bingo, has worked beautifully since. Not a problem. Sweet as a nut. Love this printer. But really and truthfully, the aim of the video was really about just saying to people, look, just keep your head in order, don't panic, don't go chipping away at the hot end. I've seen a lot of people comment about this and issues that they've had. Certainly a few people with the SVO6 Plus on community forums, etc. Don't go hammering away at it. Just crank the temperature up. I got mine to 250. The whole thing will go up to 300 apparently. But yeah, 250 was enough just to melt it back and clean it. Should be very careful. Look after yourselves. And yeah, just try the old version of Ultimate Cura, or the alternate version rather. And as I say, you can input the profiles into there, and it does work. And I've got it working beautifully now. So yeah, take care, guys. Hope that helps for anybody that has an unfortunate event. Also, it probably is worth noting, actually, don't leave the prints on their own for long. I'll probably stick around and make sure the first sort of, first centimetre of height is complete, or the first few layers, just to make sure everything looks okay. But yeah, I mean, take your own risk and leave it at your own peril. But should be all good. And to be fair, I've left this number of times now since using the other software, and again, it's all grand. So yeah, take care, guys. See you soon.